Did you go buy that back
Just
home?
because you're not a sane person,
custody
Kim,
because I'm staying
But were we
home.
there?
you're not a sane person.
I'm glad that you've got this child at this point, and I think you are too, right?
Yes.
Now, you were asked to take the child, correct?
I was asked.
So it wasn't like you came in during the night and stole this child out of its bed.
No.
And what you have is custodial guardianship, correct?
Correct.
Until her 18th birthday.
Until her 18th birthday.
Most law is based on what's called good public policy, right? We have laws that follow from just what works well in our society. And in our society, it's just good public policy for children to be with their parents, right?
Correct.
I mean,
Yes.
wouldn't you agree?
I would agree.
It's a normal order of things that children be with their parents. So when they're not, something dramatic usually has happened for a court to say, I'm taking this child away from their parents and putting it over here. Now, your niece was actually born addicted to, correct?
That is correct.
And spent between 2 and 3 months in the hospital before she could be sent home.
Discharged, yep.
Because she was in withdrawal.
Correct. She got discharged 2 weeks before Christmas. of
Okay,
2010.
and that's very difficult for an infant. I mean,
Yes.
they're very fragile at that point, so that's a tough thing. But her parents were allowed to take her at that point until 6 years old.
Correct.
Okay, and you said at that point she wasn't even potty trained.
She was not potty trained at 6 when I got custody of her.
Okay, now I actually kind of made a list of things that you found particularly appalling, and I'm going to give them a chance to respond to these. She was born addicted, and you said oftentimes she wasn't fed until like 10 o'clock at night.
Yes.
Just once a day, 10 o'clock at night.
She treated her more like a doll. Like, let me buy her nice things and, put her hair up. And to me, as a parent, that's the last thing you should be worried about.
How about school?
So I was aware about the school.
She missed 70
she
days.
Missed 70 days.
This was in March, up through
Yes.
March of that year, so
From
there wasn't
kindergarten.
even a full year.
Correct. My sister had told me that she needed me to drive her to a court appearance, probably January, February of that year. And I did. I asked her what was going on. She's like, I haven't taken her to school. And I was like, why? Our daughters were pretty much in the same grade. And I said, I haven't missed a day of school. And I know you're tired. We're all tired. But you need to get her to school. And she's like, well, I don't agree with the school. So she always had an excuse. But I didn't realize that she was doing it at that time.
Well, there were doctors called a lot.
Yes. She missed a lot of appointments. She never followed through.
Well,
They
the
started
records say the
investigating.
doctors called 198 times.
Yes.
For what?
For just like her, for her, when she first got diagnosed with autism, they got that first initial diagnosis, but there's steps that you need to take. She stopped doing it because she got that diagnosis more for money because you can provide disability for your child. So she never followed through. To me, it was alarming, but I never had the courage to talk to my sister about it because I had my own family. So I never really stepped in until that April.
Okay, so your point is this wasn't a close call that this child was being neglected.
No, correct. It was a dire need. I needed to step in.
And you're concerned about your sister's safety as well because
Correct.
you think she's in an abusive relationship.
I think Nicholas is very manipulative. He's every mom's nightmare. Because if my daughter brought someone like that home, I would be in fear. Because he's controlling, he's toxic. He comes off like he's a great kid, but he'll fool you. And he's just a charmer. He likes to say, look nice and talk nice, but he's not a nice person. He dictates what my sister's doing. He doesn't let her be herself.
But they're both addicts.
They're both addicts.
Okay, but he's the one that wrote in and says they have really been working on their sobriety and they were okay with you taking care of the child while they achieved their sobriety, which they now have done.
Correct. But they also haven't done what the courts have said. They don't have a home. They're in a shelter. They don't work. They don't have jobs. How are they going to support their daughter?
Well, let's ask them that.
My sister has stolen my child. Because of Kimberly, I have not been able to physically see or hold my daughter in over a year and a half.
We had a verbal agreement with Kim for her to take our daughter while we worked to get clean and maintain our sobriety.
Once we got clean, my sister was supposed to give me my daughter back, and that did not happen. Since we have lost custody of my daughter, Kimberly has deliberately stood in the way of us spending time with her. Every time Nick and I make plans to see my daughter, she completely crushes it.
She'll ignore us or make excuse after excuse, and we never end up getting to see her.
Because of Kimberly, I can't call my daughter whenever I want to.
Kimberly only allows us to talk to our daughter once a week on Tuesdays, and it's fully supervised.
When it comes to my daughter's day-to-day life, she completely blocks me out of everything she's involved in. I don't know any of my daughter's teachers. I don't know the school she's attending, what activities she's in. I'm completely out of the loop.
Nick and Neil say, we miss her, we love her. If you miss your daughter, you would go to court and do the proper thing. Where the hell have you been the last year and a half?
Hi.
Mommy got caught up with her little girlfriends downstairs and left Daddy to do all daddy duty.
What's even worse, they're living in a homeless shelter with a newborn baby, also born to addiction.
We have a roof over our head, food in our belly, and we're getting our family together.
They are not even trying to get jobs or waiting for the system to take care of them. If my niece went back to live with her parents, who knows what would happen.
The way that Kim behaves, it's like she's using our daughter as a pawn in a sick game.
If Kimberly actually told me that she's keeping my child until she was 18 years old over my dead body, that's absolutely not happening.
Okay, before I say anything to you two, I'm glad you're here, by the way, so welcome. You've been listening to everything backstage, right?
Yes.
So you've heard everything that's been said. I'm going to let you respond to every bit of it, all right?
Okay.
I'm just wanting to be, let me be very clear. I would not have done this story if it wasn't for this child. I'm here for this child and what's in the best interest. If you two got along or didn't get along, you're adults, you could work that out, and frankly, I wouldn't be here talking to you. Sorry, but I'll just let you work that out on your own. But there's a child involved, and so that motivates me to be involved. But my question is, let's be commonsensical here. Do you two really think that you're stable enough, established enough, to take this child back
Absolutely.
at this point?
Absolutely.
How about you?
Absolutely.
Look at absolutely.
Absolutely.
So let's think about that word absolutely. That means there's no question, there's no doubt in your mind.
No doubt in my mind.
Okay. In your tape piece, you said, I consider myself to be a great mother, that I made sure that my daughter had a great life.
Yes.
She was born addicted. Is that being a great mom?
No, but it's safe by the hospital to have her.
Nick, you said that Kimberly got custody because you were never given a fair chance.
Exactly.
How is that?
Well, basically in the beginning, when we did have the relapse, we had called her on our own and asked her, we need to get on our feet. Obviously, we're not in a good position in our lives, and we can own up to it.
When did you call me? Correct. When did you call me? Because you never called me. I
called
got
at
a
the
phone
beginning,
call.
and
No, you
DCF
didn't.
was well aware of it.
When? Because I got notified when I was in New York on vacation
this
with my
was
in-laws.
December.
December of 2017, after I had
16.
custody. No, you're such a liar, Nick.
No,
I
I'm
never
not
talked to you.
lying. Absolutely
I will
not
give
lying.
Dr. Phil show. All
So
these
there was
people,
never a verbal
my
agreement?
phone records.
There was
Well,
never
we do have
verbal
records
agreement.
of the court. Let's take a look at the court's decision, and this is guardianship. And the terms are pretty much interchangeable, but they use the term guardianship. So this was dated August 21st, 2017. Parent 1, Danielle, after proper notice, did not object to said petition. Parent 2, Nick, after proper notice, did not object to said petition.
There was no proper notice. I went to only one court date in July of 31st and was never notified of the second court date because she never notified me. They couldn't find me.
was actually in
I was in a program.
Pardon me?
I was in a program.
The court date was in May 2017.
And how come I wasn't
And
notified?
you were on the run. I didn't find you until June.
You knew you had a proceeding in the court. It's your burden to find out when the court dates are.
Correct.
And you have an address that you are to provide to the court. It's not the court's job to go out and find you.
I was in a program.
Well, then, so you were in a program, so you were somewhere that was locatable. Did you notify the court of where you were? Did you give them your address?
Not at that time, no.
Then how the hell are they supposed to notify you?
Well, she knew where I was. My
It's
sister.
not her job to notify you. So how are you a victim in this?
I probably should have been more, and I will take responsibility that I probably should have called more the courts and figured it out, but I didn't.
So why are you blaming her?
I'm blaming her for a lot of different reasons. Maybe not for the court, but
I have
I'm
no
just,
input when I
yeah,
get a
you
chance.
can have
So I think we're going a little off subject as
Right.
far as the court date, because
I'll
what I was
decide what's
saying-
on subject. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with this child, and I'm trying to figure out the quickest way for her father to be
Right.
back in her life.
So what I was saying though is the verbal agreement part, because the court date was way after. So when we made that agreement originally, we had asked her, nobody found us unfit. No one said there was a court date. The courts were not
You got a
involved.
letter
DCF,
stating
can I
that
just
they
can I speak,
Let
please?
him finish.
Because I haven't had a chance to speak
Yeah,
at
let
all.
him finish.
So if I could
This
please
is the
speak.
problem. He never gets to
So
finish.
DCF was involved, and they never found us unfit. There was no courts involved whatsoever besides her not going to school.
On March 2nd of 2017, DCF supported the allegation of neglect. Because on March 16th of 2017, DCF concerns about, quote, presence of home. On March 16th, 2017, DCF urged the need for the daughter to go to school.
Right.
So they were concerned that there were drugs in the home and that the daughter had missed 70 days of school.
Right.
Kimberly believes that her little sister is capable of being an attentive mother, but not while she is with Nick, who she calls controlling and abusive.
Nick is on probation for assault.
I'm on probation for a fight that was between Danielle and her mother, not me. There was a huge argument between Danielle and her mother about us using. And Danielle's mother ripped our room apart searching for paraphernalia. The argument got really intense between Danielle and her mother. They were pushing each other, pulling each other's hair, and I just stepped in the middle of both of them.
He went into a rage because my mother asked him to get out of her house. Then Nick attempted to strangle my mother. I saw my mother's neck. She had red marks on her neck.
The next day, her mother went to the police station and filed charges against me. That's complete. Because of a fight I didn't start, I spent a month and a half in jail.
Well, besides being accused of neglecting his daughter, Nick has also been accused of trying to strangle and attack Danielle's mother. Now, Kimberly says her goal is to get Danielle away from Nick because she fears he's not only a bad father, but is also controlling and abusive. Take a look.
Danielle doesn't realize that Nick is ruining her life.
There's no reason why Kimberly shouldn't like him. She's never given him a chance from day one.
In Kim and her family's eyes, I'm a piece of
Nick ran with gangs. He's a felon. He is a street person.
Kim and her family's assumptions are completely based off the past. Kim tried to break us up numerous times.
Kimberly keeps my daughter away from us because she does not like Nick.
Nick is very verbally abusive with my sister and potentially abusive physically. Nick calls Danielle awful names. He degrades her.
Just because we argue doesn't mean we beat the out of each other. In almost 11 years of us being together, I've never called the police on Nick once.
One time, a family member witnessed Nicholas hitting Danielle. On another occasion, my niece was hospitalized for an asthma attack. One of the hospital nurses witnessed Nick and my sister going at it, and they notified the authorities.
Kimberly accuses Nick of being very controlling, and that's absolutely not true.
Nick is obsessed with Danielle and controls every move my sister makes. Nick even tracks her cell phone. In spite of all Nick's issues, Danielle is too brainwashed to leave him. My ultimate goal is for her to separate from Nick completely.
My sister needs to realize that Nick and I have been together for almost 11 years. We have 2 daughters, and we're growing old together.
Okay, you say you never attacked.
So as far as the strangling, nowhere in the police report does it say that. That's false, completely.
So what did happen?
What happened was, and like I said, I don't want to speak too much into it because legally I am on probation for it.
You've been doing
And
great.
I did plead out guilty to it for my part in it, and half of that was because I was withdrawal and so I was in a rush to get out because I'm sick and I don't want to sit in jail sick. And what I did in my part was I did separate them, and I may have done it aggressively because I was concerned that my daughter was sleeping in the house, and with them fighting, and there's an open DCF case, I didn't want it to go on any longer. So yes, I aggressively put my hands on her and separated both of them. And because she didn't want me in the house, she used it to her advantage to, and there is a video clip of it.
So you separated who?
Danielle and her mother.
You say there's a videotape of it, but you couldn't find it?
Oh no, I have it.
Oh, yes.
Well, we asked you for it, and you said you couldn't find it.
Well, I advised them that I don't want to send all of it in because it could be incriminating to other parties, and I don't want to put that in. But I have no problem with it, sending some of it. Because, I mean, it is irrelevant to this case anyways. We're talking about our daughter. That's a fight between them two, like they said, it's a whole other show.
Listen, it is relevant because we're talking about getting your daughter back to you.
Yes.
Listen, you guys keep misreading me. I'm about unification of family, not fragmentation of family. I'm about unification.
Which I agree.
And you keep acting like I'm trying to keep you away from your daughter. That is not the case. And you keep telling me what's not relevant. You don't know what's relevant in my mind and what's not. What I'm trying to find out is what I have to work with, what I have to overcome. If you have impulse control problems, if you have anger problems, if you whatever problems you may have, anything you acknowledge, man, I am there to help overcome them because short term, long, whatever, I want you in your daughter's life. So there's nothing you can tell me that I won't do anything but put on a to-do list.
Yeah. It's been over a year since they've seen us, and we've worked on a lot. We're under 24-hour supervision in that shelter, and they think we're great parents, and I am definitely changed compared to what they know over a year ago.
You know my biggest concern? I have one major overriding concern about this whole thing. One major. It doesn't have to do with an event, doesn't have to do with conduct, doesn't have to do with anything. I have one major overriding concern.
Last year, my husband and I started IVF process because my sister went missing. I had to stop to take custody of my niece.
Kimberly's using our daughter as a permanent play date for her own daughter.
Kimberly will dress them the same all of the time. Their Easter dresses, school outfits, and their backpacks. They have bunk beds, like just everything, like they're siblings.
This is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. This is as bizarre as it gets.
Danielle believes that I took custody of her daughter to fill that void, which is so far from the truth.
It drives Kimberly crazy that I have 3 children and she has 1 daughter.
Well, it's been 17 months since parents Danielle and Nick lost guardianship of their now 8-year-old daughter to Kimberly. Now, Danielle believes Kimberly's inability to have a second child could be the reason she refuses to give back their little girl. They think because you want a child that you can't have, that this is your
I had to
surrogate.
stop IVF because of the fact that I got told to come into court and get custody. That is the reason why I haven't had a second child. Because of all the choices that Danielle's made, I can't continue my life.
You know, I said there was one thing that's just really overriding here. This speaks to it. Danielle's 20-year-old son says he witnessed Nick hit Danielle. Let's hear what he had to say.
I'm very worried about my mom. I've seen fight myself, hurt fights. I've seen him grab her inside of her room, shut the door, and then start trying to shake her. I've seen him throw stuff at her. He actually shoved her and then she hit her head off the fridge. There's situations where he pulled out a knife and cut his own wrist to try and scare my mom into staying with him. There was situations where I had to put my head back on him. There was a lot of aggression, a lot of assault going on there. If it's a serious argument, they're most likely going to be fighting all night long. There's most likely going to be physical contact. I'm definitely worried about her safety. I feel like she picked her boyfriend over me and my sister. It's like nothing happened, and she feels like she did nothing wrong.
Okay, what do you think about what your son's saying there?
All through everything he's... See, the thing is that people don't know is I've lived with my mom for years, with my son. My mom's a very controlling person. Everything he's saying is my mother, totally. Every single sentence that came out of his mouth is something that my mother has drilled into him. I understand he's 20. My son has seen a lot. Of course, I'm not a perfect person.
Well, are you saying he didn't see what he said he saw?
Some of those things, I'm not saying it's all been roses and candy between me and him, because it hasn't. He's never been in his life. He's never had any tendency.
Well, he's not saying well, in fact, he said it was manipulative. It was an attempt to control you.
No, that's absolutely false. The place of wrestling is absolutely false.
Okay, then here's one other thing that goes to my main concern. This is an online ad allegedly posted by Nick. Couple needs host / place to crash. We are traveling and need a host and somewhere to crash for some adult late night, early morning fun. This would be a threesome scenario. We would like a safe, cool, sane, down-to-earth guy who's cool and okay with us staying the night. And then there were pictures that we've had to edit.
Yeah, we knew about this, that she started showing me the stuff before, my sister.
Okay, so who posted this?
We have lost our phones. Those are my pictures, obviously, pictures that I have. I don't know how those got up. I have no idea. We don't do things like this at all, so I have no idea where that has come from.
You didn't place that ad?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
But that's your picture?
Yeah, that is my picture, yes.
I mean, if you leave your phone somewhere and there's pictures on there, anybody can do whatever they want to do.
And this is when you were on the run?
Yes. Was this on the run?
May of 17?
May of 17 is it?
If we weren't at your house, so obviously
Yes,
it wouldn't have been then, because that's your bedroom. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were on the run at this time?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And that's my bedroom, and I was not there, so that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Those are old pictures.
Yeah,
Right.
I was in a totally different city at that time. That's my old pictures.
Yeah, I'm not saying they were current
No,
pictures,
that's
but they were
old
pictures
pictures.
that were put up while you were on the run.
Correct. There's a lot of things
so
put up about me.
who
That's what I'm trying to say.
Who knew you were on the run and someone stole your phone?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. They
left it
stole
at
it,
the
left it. Yeah,
house.
left it at a house.
We forgot it at someone's
house.
We never got it back.
Yeah, like not good people.
I asked the two of you, do you feel like you are ready, willing, able, and prepared to be quality parents
Absolutely.
for this child?
Absolutely.
And your response was absolutely.
Yes.
The very fact that you don't recognize that there are real problems, real shortcomings, real challenges that make absolutely a really unrealistic answer, that's what bothers me the most, is your problem recognition skills, your lack of insight into what's going on. That to me is the biggest concern, because I told you, issues and problems I can put on a to-do list, but if you don't have insight, if you sit there and say, I got it, we are absolutely prepared.
I'm not saying I'm perfect. What I'm saying is I've turned my life around. This is what you're not getting. I'm in recovery. And I think I deserve a lot more credit than what I'm getting. I came off 13 years of sobriety.
But it's not about you, it's about the child.
I understand. This is why we're here. Absolutely. This isn't about her. This isn't about me. This is about my daughter. My daughter. This isn't about what's best for her or what's best for me. In my whole life? Probably about 10 times.
Like 10 times. How many times have you been to rehab?
Numerous.
But I've been
I think you said 15. 10 times, 15 times.
But do you understand that I have 13 years sober? Did you? Where's the 13 years sober that? Did she say that?
13 years? It's not being sober. Not being sober.
Absolutely.
It's not being sober.
It saved my life.
It saved my life. It saved my life.
It's filling it up.
That's fine. Listen, it's a legal. Can I speak? It's a legal prescription, is right. I've been clean for 13 years. I'm in counseling. I go counseling twice a week. I have great standing. I'm clean. I have over 2 years of house.
Do you have a house?
I have housing for her right now. Yes, I do.
Where? In a shelter.
It doesn't matter. She can be in a shelter. That's
with our own
legal.
room, and we're waiting for
It's
our own
legal.
One room.
It doesn't matter. They put me in a huge room. They put us into an apartment.
You know what, Danielle,
We have
you're
the
not
proper
capable
services
right now.
involved.
I proper
That's your
services
opinion that we're
involved.
not capable.
There's women in there
That's
right
your
now that have
opinion,
their children in
The
there.
court
I
obviously
provided
disagrees
support. Can I
with
speak
you.
now?
I have an
I
8-month-old
provided
daughter
support.
right now.
And I got
The court did not disagree. You went behind our backs.
No, I
and-
did.
You went behind us.
Listen,
Where's the paperwork saying that
when
you
you
did?
left the court that day, when you both
I never
jetted, she
seen
couldn't
any
come
paperwork
into
saying
it.
that we were
You're not
there.
straight
Did you go
away.
behind our backs?
Just
Don't-
because you're not a safe person, Kimberly.
Custody.
Kim,
Because I'm safe.
But were we there?
You're not a safe
But were we
person,
there?
Kimberly.
Listen,
You were never there.
You didn't come and leave.
So
why
she was
you
ripped
give-
from our custody.
Yes.
She wasn't ripped from your custody.
Okay.
DCF
Right.
called
Was she
you
ripped from
neglected.
our custody
Yes.
at all?
Yes.
How was she
Where?
ripped
Where's the
from
paperwork
DCF?
saying that she was ripped from us?
No, there's no
You have it.
I
You
gave
can
her
provide that,
to
and I will
you.
call down and say, you know what, you're
I
right.
gave her to you. I'm clean and sober. I have counseling. I've
Excuse
almost
me.
2 years sober,
Excuse
and
me.
I haven't seen my daughter
you're happy for
physically
yourself.
in almost a year and a half, and you're telling me that that's okay?
Excuse me.
You're telling me that I shouldn't see my daughter.
Excuse me. If anybody's curious as to why I allowed this to go on, it's because I really believe that the way people conduct themselves here is a mirror to the way they conduct themselves out there.
Correct.
Which again makes me really question that word absolutely. We have to take a break, and I'll let you have the floor when we come back. Next, Kimberly says that her niece is thriving in her care. and accomplishing major goals she doesn't believe would have happened if the 8-year-old lived with Nick and Danielle. Well, parents Danielle and Nick insist that despite being homeless, that they have turned their lives around and are ready to have their 8-year-old daughter back. Now, Danielle's sister, Kimberly, is adamant her niece should stay with her until she turns 18 because she is thriving under her care. Take a look.
Since my niece has been in my custody, her life has changed immensely. She has improved in every single way.
Kimberly is trying to compete with me, especially in court, trying to say that she's doing better with her than in my custody.
Kimberly rubs it in Danielle's face.
When I first got my niece, she was malnourished. She was 37 pounds and she weighs 52 pounds now. She had autistic signs. She would rock, be repetitive. Immediately, I took her to get evaluated for autism. Now, she shows no signs. She's very social. She's on Girl Scouts. She has learned how to play hockey. This summer, she learned how to dance. She's a cheerleader. She swims. She's done so much as any other little girl would do at her age.
Kimberly's putting her in all these activities, cheerleading, dance, tap, ballet, baseball, hockey, like brownies. You don't need to do all those things. And I think it's completely overwhelming her.
My sister underestimated her daughter and pigeonholed her with her diagnosis of autism. Danielle barely let her play with other kids. During pool time, she would keep her on a mat off the side and never let her explore and be a child just because she's autistic. Doctors have come up to me praising the work I've done with her. They are very impressed with her progress.
Don't get me wrong, I am glad that my daughter is thriving with Kimberly and her daughter, but don't try to compare you to me because there's no comparison. I'm her mother.
If my niece went back to live with her parents, I think all the progress that she's made could be undermined.
That notion is insane. She would be just fine with her loving parents and her newborn sister.
What have y'all heard me say since you got here? Anything stick out?
Can we have our daughter? Do you think that we'd be able to handle it?
Your concern is why we said absolutely.
Yeah, that sticks out to me.
My concern would be that we are sober and we have provided all our tests for over almost 2 years now.
Which I think
and that's been left out.
Right.
And
I think a lot
the turnaround in our life has been completely left out. And the fact that we are caring for an 8-month-old child and we've had support from letters that I provided as well.
Right.
Well, I'm not surprised that's all that you've heard for two reasons. One is I think you've kind of got a closed mind, and the other is that you've been talking amongst yourself while a whole lot else has been going on, like while I'm talking, while tapes are playing, while things are going on, that a mass kind of a overall presentation, you two just have a conversation between yourself and ignore everything else that's going on.
If we're not fit, then how come in the state says we're fit to care for an 8-month-old child?
That case is still open.
It's mandated that we are in a shelter, and when you have a methadone baby, that they have to, watch over the case. And if you were to speak to them, they said that we're doing great, and they have nothing bad to say about us right now.
You want your daughter back? Why don't you provide for her like a man?
I'm not going to speak about that.
Stop talking.
Why are you still going back and forth with her? Like,
okay, we're going to take a break. If I was involved in this case as the ad litem for this child, I wouldn't have spent as long as I've spent with you here today before I told you you needed to just leave and come back when you're serious about getting back in this child's life. Because when you tell me absolutely I'm ready, then that tells me that you're not being realistic. And there are basically 10 things that I always looked at when I was determining whether someone was fit. And number one was whether they could provide a safe, stable, and secure environment for the child. I actually think that can happen in a homeless shelter. I think you don't have to be in a mansion. I think that I would rather a parent be under a bridge in a box and give a child too much love and not enough money rather than the other way around. So I don't think that being in a homeless shelter disqualifies a parent from being a good parent. I don't think it's a long-term solution, but you have to be able to maintain a loving, stable, consistent, nurturing relationship with the child. You have to attend to the daily needs of the child, feeding, clothing, and physical care. You have to attend to adequate education for the child, provide financial support for the child, the ability to identify and prioritize the child's needs ahead of their own. And I look at these things, and history does not predict that that would be the case, which means that you need to take steps to demonstrate. You need to create a new history. A new history. And by the way, she doesn't have the right to turn this child back over to you, because once you enter the system, you couldn't give that child back right now if you wanted to. If you did, you would be in violation of the law, you would be guilty of negligence, and you could be prosecutable for abandonment of that child. So you don't have the right to do that one way or the other. So you need to understand that very clearly. So you can bark at her till the cows come home. She doesn't have the right to turn that child over to you, or she would be guilty of abandonment. You have to empathize and meet the child's needs. You have to regulate impulses and emotions. Well, I just saw how that worked out. You have to assist the child developing and maintaining appropriate relationships and exercise appropriate judgment regarding the child's welfare. And when you get ready to do that, you let me know.
So I think Dr. Phil is absolutely right that these people are not ready or prepared to take this child back. Even if they have an 8-month-old with them now, it still doesn't seem like they're ready to take back their other daughter. It seems like Nick is violent or has been violent before. I mean, her own son said that he's witnessed violence. The mom said she was assaulted by him and claims that he strangled her. He says it wasn't strangling. Either way, he seems to have an issue with impulse control. It's not shocking if he's been addicted to drugs. It does seem like they are working hard to stay clean now, so that's good and that's commendable and something they should be proud of course. But you could see just like the anger in his face, in her face. They just had like a very angry energy on the stage. And of course, I understand that the anger really comes from pain. They want to have their child back. They're being unrealistic though. Their daughter is flourishing, it seems, with her aunt. They should be happy that she's in a healthy, safe environment that's familiar and consistent, and she has her cousin there that's around the same age apparently. They should be happy that their daughter is able to have play dates with the cousin in a safe, loving home with bunk beds and not in a shelter right now. But what did you guys think about this one? Do you think this couple is ready to take their child back? I don't. Do you think that the sister who is raising this child, do you think that she's just trying to fill a void because she hasn't had other kids yet? I don't. I think that's a ridiculous accusation. Do you think Nick is violent still, or do you think he's actually changed? Do you think they are healthy and clean and able to function as parents who can meet their child's needs? You guys let me know what you think about this one. Drop it in the comments.